float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. This line drove the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali to reach international fame in boxing, and he delivered on every word. He flew around on stage often too fast for his opponents to even see, tiring them out and then stinging them like a bee. That's what he did against George Foreman, and so won the Rumble in the Jungle Championship belt. You'd be surprised where the historic belt is now. Firstly, some history behind the iconic belt. In 1974, Muhammad Ali returned to the worldwide boxing stage just after getting his license, and the World Boxing Association title was taken away from him after he refused to enlist in the army. At that time, the US Armed Forces were going up against Vietnam in a war that cost millions of lives and took 7 years to end. The African government paid Ali and George Foreman $5 million each to face off against each other in the ring. What followed has been titled one of the most rewatched and iconic battles in human history. The fight was important for its time. It was a rebellion, a statement. The African Muslim boxer later spoke in an interview and said that he fought against the Vietnam War that day. He fought for all the African Americans and Africans, and he fought for freedom. 60,000 people were in the audience that day as Ali got into the ring and fought 8 brutal rounds against George Foreman and ended up leaving the heavyweight champion of the world for the second time. This fight was also so important to many people because Ali was fearless during it. He revealed his rope-a-dope strategy for the first time. He simply got in a corner and took his younger opponent's blows, waiting for him to tire out. As soon as he did, it was all over. Ali went in completely surgical, like a bee hassling a tiger. An uppercut from the right, then the left, then he went down. It's no surprise that such a milestone in human history was so sought after, as the belt now just sold on auction for over $6 million. Next up, the Grand Auction. The belt was traced down and actually found in 1988, after which it became public. Muhammad Ali's boxing coach, Drew Bundini Brown, had it in one of his storage lockers, and the contents were all put up for auction as sports memorabilia. The Rumble in the Jungle belt is actually one of 2 belts from that fight, and the other is in a private collection. The auction went on for several hours, and finally there were only 2 buyers left. In a battle that was as heated as the boxing fight, the rare belt was finally sold to NFL team Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. He took to sharing the news on his Twitter, and in his excitement he wrote, "Proud to be the steward." The belt has now undisputedly become the most expensive sports item ever sold in history for a whopping $6 million. Although we try seeing how it makes sense as it's such an iconic piece of history, it's hard to justify that price. The belt's original owner, Muhammad Ali, paid for it with his blood, sweat, and tears, literally, and he was known for his humbleness and simplicity. He preached Islam and thought it was important above all for humans to be kind to one another, so we can't really see him ever selling the belt at the same price for millions. It just feels kinda predatory and unethical, profiting off people's names even long after they're gone. Or maybe it's just us overthinking this entire thing. If you disagree, let us know in the comments down below. Previously, Jim Irsay had been in the memorabilia scene for decades. The most recent purchase hadn't been anything new for the NFL Colts owner. He actually has an entire collection of items from Muhammad Ali's life, along with other items from sports, music, politics, and literature. He considers himself a philanthropist and actually displays his entire collection for the world to see. He also owns the historical piece from the legendary American boxer Muhammad Ali's collection, the bright red robe worn by him before his fight with Joe Frazier in Madison Square Garden. It has a white collar and cuffs and features the GOAT's name on back in bold letters. The robe has been such an influence on pop culture, with iterations of it popping up everywhere. Apart from sports stuff, the most significant part of his collection would be the music and pop culture artifacts he's collected, owning original guitars from George Harrison, John Lennon, Jerry Garcia, David Gilmour, and even the lead singer Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. A huge fan of the rock and roll genre, he stated that he wants to pay homage through his collection, and he hopes to start a dedicated museum to display everything. With his latest investment, we can actually see that happening sooner rather than later. He credits his ability to guess the market price of an item to his experience, which we can't deny since he's been doing this for 25 years. I mean, if you've got a cool billion sitting in your bank account, then we'd be buying Kurt Cobain's guitars too. He will be taking the collection on tour around America starting from August all the way till September, and it'll be a free event for anyone to attend. So if you consider yourself interested, get registered now. In other related news, a look into George Foreman's net worth in 2022. Even at the height of his career before going down to Muhammad Ali, Foreman wasn't an exceptionally rich man, but in 2022, his current net worth is $300 million. The man is an exceptional example of ingenuity, entrepreneurship, and relentlessness. He is a Christian evangelist, two-time world heavyweight boxing champion, multimillionaire finance manager, Olympic gold medalist, and fighter. Despite the fact that George Foreman has a rich pay, you may be shocked to discover that he barely earned anything sustainable from boxing itself. Most of his net worth is estimated to come from his company, George Foreman Grills. This name has become well respected and a staple in the grill industry, maintaining a standard which hasn't been dropped since it was founded. Recently, the company has even expanded to make all sorts of kitchen appliances, like microwave ovens and indoor electric grills. Up next, Mike Tyson spotted in a wheelchair. Mike Tyson was spotted utilizing a wheelchair at the Miami International Airport, bringing up issues about his health. The boxing legend had been battling with a bad injury to his lower back and was recently seen struggling to walk with a stick in New York. According to reports, Tyson is managing a sciatica flare-up and had to use a wheelchair to come down on his back. Sciatica is a nerve injury on the back and hurts like hell, although it isn't serious, but it can lead to nerves being permanently damaged. The report, in any case, added that the degree of the injury isn't serious and named it an occupational hazard for a warrior like Mike. In a new episode on his webcast, Hot Boxin', the previous heavyweight champion had opened up about his future and grimly said that he was crawling nearer to his expiration date. We're all gonna die one day, of course. Then, when I look in the mirror, I see those little spots on my face. I say, wow, that means my expiration date is coming close, really soon, said the 56-year-old retired boxer. Tyson is hailed worldwide as a boxing legend and dominated the sport when he was in his prime. He controlled the boxing circuit as an undisputed boss prior to stopping the game back in 2005 in the wake of going down against Kevin McBride. If you remember, Tyson actually came back in the ring to prove he still had the fighting spirit, and man, what a fight that was. The battle against Roy Jones Jr. in November 2020 ended in a draw. We hope that the Warrior doesn't lose his spirit anytime soon. Muhammad Ali's grandson sets out to finish what Ali started. Nico Ali Walsh continues his grandfather's legacy and sets out on a match in Pechanga Arena, San Diego. The legendary Muhammad Ali actually lost in this arena to Ken Norton in 1973. Ali Walsh will be fighting Reyes Sanchez for the middleweight championship, and fans can't wait to see Ali's legacy come to life again in the arena. It's no surprise that the pressure is on Nico, as he has a family name to maintain, even though no one is comparing him to his grandfather. Yet, he remains surprisingly chill, and said in an interview that he hopes to break the curse of the Pechanga Arena. It will be a 4-round show, on a card featured by Mexico's Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete, shielding his featherweight belt against Eduardo El Gemelo Baez. Navarrete brought home the championship against Ruben Villa in 2020 and effectively guarded it 2 times last year, against Christopher Diaz in April and Joet Gonzalez in October, the last session coming in a similar San Diego ring as he will battle Saturday. That's a wrap for this video, and thanks for watching. What did you think of the Rumble in the Jungle belts auction? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.